What's going on, family? Ooh, you get all them trees. That's big. That's a big truck. What's going on, family? It's your girl, Guruji Chastity, and I hope your day has been abundant inside of the Abundant Living Women's Circle. You know, and so I wanted to hop on here and talk about something near and dear to my heart, family, which is abandonment, right? Because if you don't know, I identify as a spiritual success coach, helping women heal their mother wound in the areas of abandonment, body image, and people-pleasing behavior. And so anytime we talk about those three specific issues, it's really a big deal, right? Because this is the staple of the work that we do in this space. All right, and so today I wanted to share three aha moments, right? Or three aha moments from your abandonment wound once you heal them, right? These are the moments that you have. And so we are looking at these abandonment wounds from an adult perspective, right? So keep that in mind. We're looking at these wounds from an adult perspective. And the reason why I say that is because it's important to know we normally develop an abandonment wound once we normally normally establish an abandonment wound when we're children, which means like you really don't have no control over it, right? You can't, when you're a child, you're learning what emotions are and how to participate in the world. But as an adult, once you learn how to do that, them excuses kind of go out the window. You know what I'm saying? And so, boom, the first aha moment that we're going to look at that you learn from having an abandonment wound as you begin to heal it is that it teaches you acceptance in the most gentle way possible. Right? Because in order to heal an abandonment wound, you have to accept that you feel like you've been abandoned. And a lot of times that's the hardest thing to do, is to accept that, like, yo, I'm hurt, or accept and say to yourself, yo, I'm wounded. It's like calling life alert on yourself, right? It's like, damn, like as an adult, right? You get yourself into situations, right? And you're like, damn, we normally beat ourselves up. Like, how did I let this happen to me? How did I get here? Type shit. That be a real thing. Instead, instead of doing that, we should hit the life alert button on ourselves. Like, damn, I didn't push myself down. Help. That's a real thing, but we have to learn to accept that we're actually wounded, that something is actually bothering us. Because when we don't accept that, what we begin to do is really take a 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach, right? You really have this 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach, right? And the reason why that is so, because I'm actually hurt and something does bother me, but I'm trying to play cool and I'm not hurt. 1 foot is in the hurt bucket, and then the other foot is in the player bucket. That's like, no, we straight, right? And imagine if you're trying to walk with, look at me, trying to walk with two goddamn buckets on your feet, right? It's gonna slow you down, right? Instead of you just say, hey, I'm gonna take both buckets off, or I'm gonna rock with one bucket. You know what I'm saying? And so you see how you begin to have those aha moments when you heal that wound, because you begin to see like, oh snap, damn, that really does hurt me. And you're able to communicate with your emotions a lot more. You're able to express fully a lot more because you accept the myriad of variations of emotions that you be having, right? But you never get to that place until you begin to heal your abandonment wound, right? You don't really, I mean, you get to those places, don't get me wrong, but if you have, this man's car is really cool, it has like a whole gator eye on the side, but if you get to a point that you're able to heal your abandonment wound, you come into acceptance a lot easier, a lot faster. There are other ways to get there because different things show up in our lives, you know what I'm saying? But anything that better helps me build a muscle, it's like, why not participate in it? You see what I'm saying? At least that's my perspective. So that's the first aha moment, is that healing your abandonment wound brings you closer to acceptance once you accept that, hey, I'm wounded, or that, hey, I feel abandoned. And that'd be the most vulnerable thing in itself, just accepting to yourself and acknowledging to yourself, like, yo dog, I'm hurt. This happened like this, or this made me feel like this, or I wanted this to go this way, but it didn't, and I accept that I'm hurt. That's a whole vibe. I'll be having to do that so much for myself, and especially if you consider yourself to be sensitive, boy, you get hurt probably a lot. And to overcome that hurt, you got to accept that hurt. Otherwise, what you're going to be doing which is our tip number 2, is abandoning yourself as an adult. Another aha moment as an adult. It's such a butterfly. As an adult, we oftentimes abandon ourselves first before anybody else has the opportunity to abandon us. And then once that person abandoned us, or that situation abandoned us, all we do is use that to further justify the abandonment wound that we had, instead of not abandoning ourselves first, just off rip. You know what I'm saying? And so how that looks is if I'm healing my abandonment wound, right, and I begin to see easily, like, damn, I used to disregard myself in situations real quick to either fit in somewhere, to get love, to not rock the boat, right? You begin to see you did all of that shit, and it didn't serve the actual purpose that you thought maybe it would, or that you thought maybe it should. So we definitely begin to see that as an adult, when we heal our abandonment wound, we see all of the ways that we actually abandoned ourselves first, right? Because what's happening is that little kid comes in, right? Whatever happened, that's why I said we're looking at this from the perspective as being an adult. Because what happens is, wherever you were abandoned as a kid, if you never healed it, 9 times out of 10, when your abandonment wound is triggered, you go automatically to that space that you were as a kid, right? And so this is how we learn that, like, yo, I'm abandoning my inner child. This inner child actually needs my help. But right now, as an adult, I'm abandoning it, right? And that's what you begin to see as an aha moment when you begin to heal your abandonment wound. And boom, family, the last one. The last little aha moment I feel like you truly receive when you begin to heal your wound, and that is learning value, right? You begin to learn value in yourself, because abandonment wound normally looks like, situations or people. Like, we feel abandoned by, like, a person, right? And so once we begin to heal that wound, one of the things that we have the opportunity to do is to ask ourselves, what did we value about what we didn't get in the first place? And then you can begin to tack that onto yourself, and you don't have to look for that externally anymore, right? And so let's just say somebody did let you down and you felt abandoned, right? What you want to begin to do is see, what was I even seeking out of that, right? What made me feel good about that, and what would I have received, right? And once you begin to identify what you would have received, you can begin to give that to yourself, right? And once you can give that to yourself, you no longer have to abandon your inner child to go outside of yourself to get that pleasure. You see what I'm saying, family? Look, and that's how you develop value right there. You develop value when you can give shit to yourself, right? When you can give shit to yourself and you don't have to lose your own power to, like, be externally validated from other sources, right? You add in value to yourself. That is what's happening, family. And so those are the 3 major takeaways when we begin to heal our abandonment wound. And the first one is that it eases us into gentle acceptance. The next one is it brings the awareness and the clarity that 9 times out of 10...
Turn left.
Come on, I'm walking. 9 times out of 10, it teaches us that we abandon ourselves before other people do. And then the last one is it teaches us how to find value in ourselves. Those things that we once thought we needed externally, once we start doing that internally, it's like, oh, we didn't up the ante anymore, right? All right, family. Until next time, I love you. Peace out.